Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a guide to the new haunted sea forts in Sea of Thieves. These forts are quicker and easier versions of the other forts and are almost always active, not being a big world event with a cloud in the sky and everything. They offer a simpler experience for newer players or those in a hurry. Today we'll begin by talking about how the forts work, some tips and strategies to help you be successful, and we'll conclude by looking at some interesting features and uses for the forts. I'll have chapters set up on this video for your convenience, so feel free to skip around. Anyway, without further ado, here is the above water treasuries Haunted Sea Forts Guide. Alright, so there are two new sea forts in each region of the map, except for the Devil's Roar, and each region's forts are themed in a different way. Some of these are actually pretty interesting to explore if you have time. Like I mentioned before, the forts are always active unless a crew has cleared one out and is occupying it. You can tell that a fort is active from its green glow. When approaching, you'll be hit with barrages of cannonballs, but don't worry, their aim is terrible. But if you still want to be safe, approach the fort from a diagonal because they don't have any diagonal facing cannons. As soon as you arrive, you'll be greeted with some friendly ghosts. Not really. When you finish taking them out, you'll need to fight 6 waves of ghosts, with each wave being announced with 2 rings of the fort's bell. For the last wave, the bell will ring 3 times and then the captain will come out. Don't worry, he's pretty weak and isn't like Grey Mirror or any of the other big bosses. When you defeat the captain, he'll drop a fort treasury key which can be taken downstairs and used to get some shiny loot. All in all, this is a pretty quick process. I'd say it took me 5-10 minutes doing this solo. In those 5 to 10 minutes, I earned a little less than 20,000 gold, meaning you're earning somewhere around 3,500 gold per minute. Alright, let's go over some tips and tricks. These ghosts are really weak, meaning that they take 3 cuts with a sword, or 1 shot with a pistol, a well-aimed blunderbuss, eye of reach, or sword lunge. Fighting these guys with a sword is extremely annoying though, because they always want to attack you while they're being sliced into pepperoni, so I would recommend using, as always, a pistol, or an eye of reach if you prefer that. But if you do choose to use a sword, just go full sword lord and jump all around them while slashing. They have a hard time hitting you if you do that. Also, there are tons of supplies on the fort, so don't worry about food or cannonballs or wood or anything like that. Just take a look around. There's probably a few pineapples lying about. Oh, and I just released a short video on the easiest way to complete one of these without even getting off your ship or taking any damage. That video will be linked in the description below. Now let's take a step back and look at the other features of forts. If you spend a few minutes exploring each one, you'll probably notice a lot of small details. For example, there's a large cooking area in the kitchen. There are bunk beds upstairs. There are hatches in between floors. There's a giant map in the dining room. There are these windows that you can open and close, and that. If you go downstairs, there are gates that you can open and a loading area with pulleys where you can quickly move all of the loot from the treasury into a rowboat. Also, be sure to check all the little drawers and boxes around the fort, including the cabinets in some of the fort towers. These will sometimes contain small treasure items, and you might find the fort storage room key, which opens the storage room at the top of the fort. You can get a bit more treasure and some fireworks this way. And really important, even though the prison cell has a prompt for a key, you cannot currently open it because the key does not exist. At least not yet. This will probably be used for some future update. Oh, and don't forget to ring the bell at the top. Besides this, forts are actually very useful for defending because they're, well, forts. I mean, there are lots of supplies, kegs that can be used against enemies, not to mention tons of cannons pointing everywhere. If you find yourself needing to defend some treasure or deter a ship that's chasing you, or just have some fort sieges and roleplay with friends, sea forts are perfect for this. And honestly, I think that this is a far better use for them than some annoying ghosts. Alright, I think that just about covers it for the haunted sea forts. Hopefully this video has helped you out, and if it has, please consider liking and subscribing. It supports my channel and you can undo it at any time, and it's free. And with that said, happy sailing.